Here's some metal chairs that are all attached to a central table there, and it's just kind of a lounge situation. It's more of like I guess, a ramada or a gazebo type of situation out in front of the store. Just kind of a hangout spot or a little bit of, just to take a break or whatever. Uh, I always, whenever the seats are metal or really hard or that they hardly have any cushion or anything like that, then I always try and transfer onto my cushion from my wheelchair cushion. I always try to transfer onto that and slide that underneath me and stuff like that. The thing about it was, and this kind of, I don't know if it just happens to me or if it happens to a lot of people, but I ended up, my pants uh, start to fall down and actually came off. Um, so I got to be careful. I was putting the cushion behind me, and as I was pushing the cushion underneath my bottom, then I was actually causing my pants to slide off and come off. Um, and so that's a thing. That's a problem that if you got long legs like I do, but if you aren't, you know, if you aren't big in the hips, if you aren't heavy in the hips, then it's kind of difficult to find a waist size that fits with long legs. It just doesn't, the two don't go together. Long legs and small hips just don't go together very often. A lot of the stores, J.C. Penney, Sears, um, Old Navy, things like that. A lot of your Levi's, a lot of the clothes just don't have the length and the small width. It's just very infrequent. But anyway, so I'm transferring. This is a different angle to transfer onto the um, metal metal seats right there. The metal seats are pretty. They're pretty nicely welded and affixed to the central round table. Um, that way, the reason why I'm saying that is because then it wasn't very difficult for me to. I was lifting up on the chair, on the metal chair a little bit, but it was pretty sturdy. I wasn't afraid that it was going to break the metal or bend the metal or anything like that whenever I was transferring onto the chair. The putting my pants on, uh, I'm putting the wheelchair cushion underneath my pants, and whenever I do that, then it actually starts to pull down my pants a little bit more. Um, so I got to be careful about that. And every time that I transfer from the chair, from the metal chair into my wheelchair, then it tends to pull down my pants even further. So I should have used a belt here. I forgot today to put on a belt, and I should have put on a belt. I usually, run an old catheter or something like that through my loops of my pants. I know it's kind of ghetto, but it works for me, and I don't use the catheter after I don't want to try and I don't ever try and use the catheter after I bend it up and stuff like that, and I use it to hold my pants on. Um, this is a different angle right here. I'm showing you trying to put my cushion underneath me. Um, it's not that bad. Putting the cushion underneath me, it probably took a minute or two, so it's not that big of a deal. But the only thing about it is, the bummer thing about it is it pulls down your pants. So you gotta you gotta wear a belt or something like that. I don't, I maybe it's just me, but I'm sure there's other people in wheelchairs that your pants don't fit you right or whatever, and so they come down, and you don't know it. You can't feel the area, so you don't know if your pants are falling down or not. And my pants were falling down pretty good, and I did have people looking at me, but they were looking at me a little bit more frequently, and that was because I think my pants were falling down. So, uh, but whenever you transfer back from the metal